interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Well That Effing Figures. Tonight, we have a very special guest, Rawl Paredes. He is a indie filmmaker. I got it right, too. An indie filmmaker, dark portrait photographer, and the host of Rawl of the Dead. You can find that on multiple different, I think, Spotify, Apple, correct?
Yep.
All of the
Spotify,
above.
Amazon, yeah.
Yeah, and check that out if you get a chance. It's awesome. So,
it is very good. I got sucked in today. It's very. It was very relatable to me, honestly.
Thank you so much.
Everything you were saying was kind of like it, and obviously it wasn't the same story as me, but like it was very relatable to like where we are right now and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, thanks you guys for having me on. I appreciate it. And the podcast. I wasn't sure if I was gonna ever start a podcast because I didn't think. I don't know. I think it was a lot of work. I felt like it was going to be a lot of work, and I was just like, I don't think I need to add more things to my plate. But once I got laid off from my job, I decided that was probably a good time because I wanted to get more content out there, and I actually wanted to talk to people that I'm friends with in the industry, or even if I'm not friends with them, I want to get to know them because sometimes I'll have conversations with them, whether it's on the phone or in person. And sometimes I think it's interesting just to, because I'm a curious person anyways. So when I ask them questions, it's just for my curiosity. And I figured, I go, this might be good to do on the podcast for people to hear it and just have like a normal, casual conversation and just stream it somewhere, make an audio. So I go, maybe I should do the podcast because I have been talking to people like for the past year, and I always enjoy like getting to know them and diving in deeper. And I was like, I think it's a good time to start the podcast. And so I started it in late September, and it'll be back in March. I'll have some episodes done by then. So right now I have only one episode, but I want to have at least 5 to go by March.
Okay, and you've been doing that since. We were talking backstage September. Yeah,
I started it in late September. Actually, it was supposed to be September, but I actually ended up launching the first one in late August.
Okay.
Just because I already had a few guests I had 3 people that that I had on the show, and then plus my intro episode. So I have 4 already, and I decided I'm going to start August. So late August, I started my first episode. So it went all the way through all the way till December.
Okay, you took a little break for the holidays, and now you're back.
Yeah, just because it's hard to get guests, and not that it's guest driven, but since it's just me doing the podcast, I don't have like a co-host.
Mm-hmm.
I just decided to take a break for myself because I had all these other projects coming up, which we can get into. And then I want to be able to stack episodes so I can so my goal is to do one every week. So every Monday you get a new episode.
Nice.
And so that might take me through the summertime, and then maybe the summer I'll take another 2-month break and then go back and finish the year off that way. So I'm trying to do at least 15 episodes, like almost like quarterly, if I can, if possible.
And then that's on top of your new project that you have coming.
Yeah, so right now, we still. The reason I took the break in December too is because we started filming a short movie called Poe, which has to do with a doll, So me and my friend Spooky Professor got together with this idea months ago, and we started like coming up with an idea for a story of a backstory of why her name is Poe. And so we looked at a few places to shoot it at. And we finally found a really awesome place. We put the deposit down and had a date set. And sometimes just trying to like get people to commit can be like challenging too. So luckily, the people we had casted wasn't a lot of people. It was like 1, 2, 3. It was like 3 people only. Originally, we we're going to do 4, but I go, let's just do the 3. And they were all into it right away. And so that made our lives like a lot easier, because then after that, we could just bring people on board to help. Like you can help set up some stuff, or you can be like behind the scenes pictures, or just help with the lighting. So it just made it a lot easier and smoother. So it was a fun shoot. It was a very, very fun shoot. And we shot that in December. I already edited it. It's 95% done right now. So, and it's come out in March.
Oh, wow.
You're going to have a busy March with the podcast coming back and the
podcast, the magazine. I forgot I have a magazine coming out.
Oh, wow.
I started working on it in December, and it's I got all the images already done. It's just about finalizing it now. So I'm not too worried about that one. I think that'll be done pretty quickly.
What's the magazine? Is that going to be all like dark photography and horror?
Yeah, so basically the magazine is like all my photos from the last year.
Okay.
And I put them all in a 40-page magazine. And I have my other friend that helps out, Anya, and she's I think in Portland, Oregon. And she conducts some interviews with some local haunt people. And she does movie reviews too, because I always enjoy her movie reviews just on her Instagram. And she's also an actress and also does independent film, so she kind of understands like where I'm coming from. And then I have another guy, David, who I actually got to get a hold of to find out what he has, because David helps out as far as local events in California. So like a Midsummer or any of the Witches Brew, and he kind of gives like an event review. So that's about it. I used to have interviews on there, but since I started the podcast, I decided let's just do away with the interviews on the magazine and just hold it off for the podcast.
Right.
So, and because in the podcast, I get more in depth with people, and we're having like just a normal conversation.
Right. Yeah. That's
actually
more fun that way.
It'll all come together, and it'll be like perfect in March. Like,
yeah.
March is gonna be a good month.
Yeah, I'm hoping that, and then after that, we're submitting it to some small festivals, and we want to submit it to Midsummer Scream, because they're having a film festival at Midsummer Scream this year, and so we have I think till mid-March to submit it. So since it's pretty much done now, I'm just waiting for one piece of music, and then I'm done with it. Once I get that music delivered to me, I can go ahead and finalize it and send it off to them to submit to the Midsummer Scream Festival. So they'll screen it there at the event. So I'm dying for that. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Oh, I bet.
How long is this? How long is Poe going to be? Is that like?
So it's only 10 minutes.
Okay.
So I was trying to shoot for 6 to 7 minutes. But we were writing so much stuff and ideas down for it that it was becoming, I could easily see a half hour, and that was going to be way too long. I didn't want to do a half hour. Plus, I think people's attention span kind of, if it's not really good and tightened down, people's attention span can go.
Okay.
I didn't want that. I wanted something where it's a good 5 to 8 minutes long, where it's just interesting from the beginning to the end.
Right.
So, and once I started editing it, it was like I found out it was about 10 minutes. I go, that's fine, because we were telling enough story to fill that all out, and there's nothing boring in it at all. So it just keeps going. So, so we kept that at 10 minutes because I couldn't cut any more. I couldn't cut anything else out of it. But it was very much a learning process to shooting that, because you're up against challenges with time, with things like with audio stuff, continuity, direction, making sure people know what their next line is or what their next move is, and then keep it consistent, because I do a lot of different angles. And now I'm beginning to realize why people do the take after take, because you could do like a 2-person process where it's a wide, just one shot. Then you do your close up, your medium close up, then you do an extreme close up. Then you could do a different angle. And then, so that's already 4 different things. And then you do the other side, and that could be 4 different things. So in the real world, I would, if I had all that time to do that, I would totally do it that way, where I have all these different angles and then play around in post of how I want it to interact. And that could be like a good, like 2 minutes of something. And it would really look good and look like a real film. But, once you start filming and you're up against the clock, it's like, well, we could probably do 2 angles, the most 3, you know what I mean? And you're kind of set with that. But I've seen some independent films where they just do one camera, and that's it. They're just like, it's just one angle. And so you get a lot of people that are getting the back of the person, and that's never good. You got to get the front.
Right.
Unless there's a reason for the back. But if they're turning their back on you, it doesn't look good on camera. You start getting bored.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then also with the audio is very important too, almost more important than the actual video. The audio has to sound good. The sound effects have to sound good. You know what I mean? If they're opening the door, you want to hear the door opening.
Yeah.
You can't use the audio from the camera. You have to do a different source, whether it's an ADR or you go and do it yourself, or you get it from Envato. Whatever you do, you have to get those sounds. And sometimes those little things that you start to pick up on, it's like, oh, okay, I think I could do that, or this person could have done that or something better. And then I'll watch some that is like, wow, I can't believe this little indie movie. And then you look at the credits and they just roll. And it's like, there's so many people that helped out with it. I saw an original Halloween one with Michael Myers. The best one I've seen for a fan film. It was done so well. I mean, the acting was great. The cinematography was great. They shot it like in the woods. And the guy that played Michael Myers was great. I was like, dude, I go, this is what I want. This is how I want my films to look like. And the way it was written out. And then I saw the credits. The credits were like, it was a bunch of people.
Yeah. It's amazing.
And so I'm figuring out that the more people that you get to help you to ease your job would be a lot better, because being a one-man band, sometimes it shows in the movies. So that's why sometimes when I'm watching some of those like not so good movies, independent ones, I can't blame them, because it's one person, maybe 2 people, 3 at the most, but they can't do all that stuff, and they can't light certain scenes. And to me, the lighting and the audio are big for me. Like those have to be high quality, has to look good. And I'm not saying mine is high end at all. But if I could sit there all day and just dial in the lighting just for one scene, I would love to do that, but there's time restrictions where it doesn't allow you to do that.
Right. Yeah. Let's say what's up to the chat real quick. They're cooking right now.
They're on fire.
Oh, okay. I can't see anything on my end.
Oh, well, we got Rolando here. Welcome, Rolando. He's always here.
Hey, Rolando.
That guy is busy.
Hello,
Janine. What's up? Welcome. Thanks for showing up. Flex
First
is here.
sister. Flex.
Pat's fan for life. Oh, and thank you. Yeah, I got my Millennium Workshop sweatshirt.
What's up, Ken?
Oh,
I was gonna wear mine. I almost wore mine tonight. I have a black with a white lettering. And
dude, he's gonna have the whole YouTube outfitted with them soon.
I know, right?
But oh yeah, lighting. Just doing my YouTube videos, man. I have a problem with lighting. Lighting is hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I was even this
audio too, right?
This interview here, I was telling you, I was trying to set up this camera here just to get good quality of video, since he told me it was going to be video, but I didn't have any more time left. I took a bunch of like business stuff earlier, and the next thing I know is almost 5:00. I go, I got to get ready for the podcast.
Hmm.
So the only thing I did set up was my light right here, and I go, hey, sorry, my cat's right here.
That's all right.
And at least this will look at least decent.
We've had it all happen on this show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, cats welcome. Cats are welcome.
Yeah, cats are welcome.
We're animal friendly. There
She
you
just
go.
sees like she sees that I'm talking to somebody, so she wants to get in on the
She's jealous.
conversation.
Oh,
She wants
she's
you all to
beautiful,
herself.
too.
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying though, because like when I watched your Leatherface versus Jason, I
Oh,
enjoyed
yeah.
it.
By the way.
I enjoyed that a lot. I watched it like 3-4 times in a row.
Wow, thank you.
I love the short. Sometimes it's not the length of it. It's just like they got right to the point, and the whole whatever it was, 5, 6, 7 minutes was all like, this is what it's about, and there's nothing else. There's no filler, and it was pretty cool to watch. So
No, like I was saying earlier, that one was like a last minute idea that we just did like off the cuff. Everything was just like, let's just do this, and that.
right,
Yeah,
that's
it
pretty
looked
amazing.
great. They really looked great.
You went for a photo shoot, and then it turned into that. That's pretty.
Yeah,
amazing.
it was. They hired me to do a photo shoot, and then I go, I have an idea for a video. If as long as we're all here, like how often I get Leatherface and Texas was not Texas. I'm sorry, Leatherface and Jason together.
Yeah.
And I was like, we got to do this. We got to get this. We got to get this rolling and do some video. You know what I mean? And it was outside and it was like nice and cloudy, so the lighting was perfect for it.
I almost feel like it would be. I don't know if it is. I almost feel like it'd be harder to make a short because like deciding on what part or like to get everything you want to say in that short period of time or what you want to say in that short period of time.
Yeah, it's challenging.
Yeah,
because you always had all these ideas in your head, I'm sure, and then you got to narrow them down to what you want to focus on in like 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes.
That was the challenge with this Poe movie because like we had so many ideas and we have to like eventually scale it down to like, let's just keep it as simple as possible and not overcomplicate it. And but sometimes the short ones, it could just be like a quick thing, you know what I mean? Just coming down the hallway and then maybe somebody's like following you. It could be just something as simple as that, and it'll look good. But once you start tying into stories and keep adding stories to it, then it gets a little bit more challenging because now the rooms change, now the lighting changes, and then the audio changes. So, but it's all a learning process. So every single thing I've done with the short movies, I've learned something from it. And the first thing I learned was that I need help. So I definitely need help because when I did the first real one I did was a Scream. We just did the intro of the Scream. If we're picking up the phone, what's your favorite movie, scary movie? We did the whole little intro, her getting chased, Ghostface coming out, and it seems simple, right? It seems like, I could do that. Oh man, we went through
There's
some
more
challenge.
to it than it seems, right?
We lost light, and then so the continuity wasn't there anymore because we shot certain things during a different time than we did, and that was supposed to be at night. But it's just me. It was just me doing the lighting, doing the camera work, and then we rewrote some of it on the spot. So even though like that's all laid out already because that Scream intro. You already know what happens. So
right.
Just trying to keep it as authentic as possible was kind of a challenge too, because like, it's a house that I'm not familiar with. It's where you're going to place the light, where it's not showing on the camera, where I'm going to place the microphone where it's not showing on camera. So those are all things that I'm learning now, like how to do better for the next one.
Yeah. Now, how's that work? Like, do you have to get like permissions or anything like that to do those like type of
from the
well, like I'm not sure. So like the like you have to get permission from like the real like the Scream movie to make the short or anything like that. Probably
if
not,
it's a
right?
fan film, I don't think so because we're not selling it,
right?
And we're putting it on YouTube for free.
YouTube. Yeah. Okay.
and it's considered a fan film, so it's not like something that we're selling and marketing as like, hey, look, I came up with this original idea, and I'm selling merch and I'm selling DVDs.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, okay, that's cool.
So has it always been horror? Like, is that how you've always been into horror? Or what drew you to like the horror and the dark photography?
I've always been into dark stuff anyway since I was a kid. So growing up with even like just bands, like it was in a death metal band. It was all dark stuff. I got into black metal. It's all dark stuff. That all comes from watching horror movies in the late 70s. I'm going to age myself, but I was a kid in the 70s watching Amityville Horror, The Exorcist.
Me too.
The Thing, Omen, all of those. And then it went straight into Friday the 13th, Halloween, then Freddy Krueger. And then it became like a little comical with Freddy Krueger, but I still loved it. I'm like, American Werewolf in London. There's just so many classic movies now. And those weren't classics back when I was watching. They were just like, they were available for rent on VHS. So we used to rent them all the time. Nightmare on Elm Street. It was on the constant loop. I was always watching Nightmare on Elm Street.
Don't you miss going in like to get a VHS video from the store?
It's a nostalgic that you kind of like you kind of do miss. Yeah.
Well, because it was a whole thing, like okay, we're gonna go to the rental store, and then you walk down the aisles, you're looking at all the cool covers, trying to find, it was like
you look for the cool covers. And that's when I started like renting, like even like we started diving even deeper with like independent one. There was one called Bloodsucking Freaks. Have you guys seen that one?
No, but it sounds familiar.
I'm sure I have. I just can't recall.
It's insane. It's just complete gore. There's no storyline.
Right.
And from that we went to Faces of Death, and that's
I remember that.
I was going even darker. I'm like, so I went through all that dark phases, and I'm like, okay, well, I definitely like more creepy stuff, not so much like gore. I'm not really like, even though I'm a big Saw fan, I'm not like a big gore fan. You know what I mean? It's like, it's okay. I don't mind it, but I prefer more like a psychological stories and movies.
I think I like it all because I like the gore and I like the psychological stuff too. But
like, do you guys like Eli Roth stuff? Like all of his stuff?
Yeah. Like Hostel and stuff, right? That was.
I think that was him, wasn't it? Was that?
Yeah.
Eli Roth.
Hostel. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Because I watched Hostel, I was like, okay, that was very gory.
See,
and it was so much gore, I didn't really know what was going on anymore. I was like, what is going on?
I don't like pick it like based off the gore and stuff, like stuff that really like I love psychological too, like we were talking, like where there's twists and turns, it all comes together at the end, or maybe it doesn't come together and it leaves you hanging. But like I really like stuff where like it could really happen in a sense, like Scream, that could really happen. You could be at home one night and someone calls you and starts messing with you. When a stranger calls, whatever.
Saw could really happen.
Yeah, I mean,
you just gotta have somebody that gets all that stuff together that quickly to get his revenge.
Well, have you guys been to I don't know if you guys have that over there, but have you been to the Medieval Torture Museum?
No.
Okay, so we have one here, and I think there's one in East Coast, and there's one here in Los Angeles. We went to the soft opening just to see all the torture museums, and we kind of all decided to go, this is where all the gore movies get their ideas from, especially movies like Saw,
right?
Because it was very creative how they tortured you. Like there's one where I think they put you in they put you in this what's it called, like a barrel of bugs that eat these certain bugs eat skin, and they'll keep you down there, and that's kind of like how you die. And then there's another one where it's got these things on there was so much stuff there that goes on your ankles, and it just tears your ankle skin apart.
Oh wow!
And
I don't want no part of that.
There was some other thing with your back where it stretches your, like, I think for about 2 seconds it might feel good, but it stretches your back, and then it just like all your limbs come off, because it's pulling you. So all the like they create, I mean, it's fucked up, but is very creative. Like
Mhm.
I don't
like
think that, I don't
art.
think that way. I don't think of like, how am I going to torture this person? And man,
Yeah.
they thought of everything I was looking at. I go, this is an insane.
They went all out. Yeah.
Yeah, I go, now I know where all the ideas come from. They
Yeah.
come
Yeah,
from
that's
right here.
definitely something I would like to see at one point. Go to
And
Yeah.
I think because like Saw is gory, but it's also kind of psychological as well.
It
It
is.
really is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I with Saw. I mean, I know it's gory, but I for some reason I don't think that's all of it. You know what I mean?
No.
no.
I love the whole storyline of it.
Me
with
too.
John Kramer as like
Me too.
how he passes the torch and how he became how he was. I love the whole backstory of him,
Mhm.
how he became how he was, and how intelligent he is and smart.
Mhm.
But also like he's punishing people that have done things that are awful in the world. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And that's why he has them there. And so that kind of ties into the Poe movie because Poe, the character, is sort of the same way in that
Mhm.
it's not a bad person, but just is trying to do right in the world
Mhm.
and is a vigilante in a sense, you know?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I can't wait to check that out in March.
Yes.
That'd be good.
I can give you guys an exclusive date if you want. I think we have a date for it now.
Yeah, that'd be cool. For sure. So T3, what's up, man? He says they used to have a torture museum in San Francisco, but he's not sure if they still do or not.
You're from you're from California, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that one and the one in LA and Hollywood, that one opened up, I want to say about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like I think we saw when it was 85% done, because only the beginning of it, when you first go down, when you first get there, was still being constructed.
Okay.
But I don't think we even got to see everything because we were there for 2 hours, and since it was a soft opening, it didn't have the guy that was giving us a tour. He had to go get another couple that was also there for a soft opening, and then we kind of lost him. And then we just were running around doing our own thing and taking pictures, and I have a whole video of that on my YouTube channel of that torture museum. If you guys want to go check that out, it's not that old. So the girls that I went with, they gave me permission to go ahead and edit it down and put it in my YouTube channel. So I show a lot of the stuff there on there. If you guys want to check that out.
Yeah, definitely.
I just looked up. Supposedly Chicago's got a medieval torture museum.
That's
so
what
I'm gonna have to take a trip down there now. So,
yeah, I knew there was one East Coast, so Chicago. That was the other one. Yeah.
It says there's like a touristy like historic torture device museum in Wisconsin Dells, but being in the Dells, it's probably real touristy. Like it might still be cool, but
yeah.
I think I'm gonna head down to the Chicago one, check that out. I think
I think you won't. You're gonna not be disappointed. You're gonna be like your mouth's gonna be open the whole. They'll be like, what the fuck?
Well, that's. I mean, even like when you're watching Saw, you know, he's got those devices on him, and like in a way, they're so like obviously those are different than
Oh yeah,
because he's got a way to get out of them. So they're almost so simple, and you're sitting there kind of like yelling at the people, like just do it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. Even like the reverse bear trap, like he had to actually go and kill that guy to get the key inside his stomach.
Yeah,
so he had to rummage to his stomach and find it. Like that's just a crazy way of thinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it gives you 3 minutes. Like nobody can do that.
And you got
in 3
a time
minutes.
limit, otherwise that thing's gonna explode. And same with the guy on that
right away
with the eye. You know, his eyes got sucked out. And
yeah.
Oh yeah,
like,
that was crazy. I was wondering what that was on like on the cover poster.
I know.
Oh man,
you knew it wasn't gonna be good. Like that's.
See, I first thought it was gonna be like a mouse or something that came down him or something. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, that's what I thought too. I thought something was gonna go in his eye.
Yeah, exactly.
Which actually
would have been
eye
come out. Yeah.
I don't know which was more of a torture, coming in or sucking your eyeballs out.
None of it sounds fun, but
I feel like the sucking the eyeball out would be a lot faster though. So like
than having a rat scratch at your eye or something. Yeah, that might be worse. I don't know.
Oh.
I mean, if I had to pick, I might take the instant.
I guess when they suck your eye out, you won't even see it coming. No pun intended, but I don't know. But,
you won't see it coming. Exactly.
Yeah. But either way, it sucks. It
Yeah.
sounds like. But excuse me.
Oh, it definitely gave me something to.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that one out for sure.
Now, Thanksgiving, I have not seen that one yet. Have you seen that at all?
I haven't seen. I'm waiting for that to come on a stream.
Yeah,
the last one I saw was The Exorcist, the newer one.
I saw that. I don't know if I 100% cared for that one. I'm kind of 50-50 on that.
I liked it. I actually liked it. I enjoyed it. I'm not expecting it to be like The Exorcist.
Right. Maybe I did. I guess. I don't know.
I went in with not expecting that, obviously, because you're not going to top that. People have tried.
Well, honestly, I'm happy it wasn't like The Exorcist.
No.
It
was just more of a.
I guess that's where my disappointment came in, but I guess I'll watch it again just to give it another chance. Because sometimes the first time I watch something, I don't get it, and now I watch it again. I'm like, oh, it's a little bit better than I thought.
Yeah, like. How did you guys feel about the last Halloween? Halloween Ends.
Did I watch? Oh yeah, I did.
Oh,
watch
the
that
last.
One. It wasn't. I can tell you. I think they just need to stop with the Halloweens and the, and the Texas Chainsaws, because the last ones of each of those weren't the greatest.
Right.
But Saw just continues for some reason to go back to that. It just
because that's like an original idea.
Yeah.
Saw.
Yeah.
Whereas the others, they're like recycling old movies. Like I think the Texas Chainsaw I saw from early 2000s, I think, was with I forgot what that actress's name was. But that's that version I thought was pretty good.
That one wasn't bad.
The one with Jessica Biel?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's one of my favorite horror remakes.
I love that one.
Yeah,
that one wasn't bad at all. Yeah, that was good. The last one where they were in the school bus and he was chainsawing people. Is that the one I'm talking about, Colin?
Yeah, that was a great part, by the way. I loved that.
Yeah,
part.
I mean, but just like, come on, he's not from that kind of. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Ugh, it just had me like, nah, just end it already. Don't ruin it.
But the Halloween Ends one, going back to that one was just it was just not good.
It was
just
like,
not good.
The end when she like kills him, like I was just like, and then there's the part 2 where like they were setting up the younger kid. Like I was like, oh, we're gonna have this is like the new killer going forward,
Yeah, we don't need a new killer. Please let it go. Like
that's where I was like not liking it, because I thought that was the way they were going. I'm like, don't do that.
No, because now you're gonna have another 10.
That whole thing was just a waste of time, though. Like,
it was. You could have just cut that whole part out.
Yeah,
I wish they would have started the movie from where the second one ended, where Halloween Kills ends, where Laurie's daughter dies.
Yep.
And what happens immediately after that?
Right.
You're probably crying, and you get vengeance. And then started off that way. I actually thought about doing a short based on that idea of just what happens after that, and just do a 5-minute little sequence of that. Yeah. I know somebody's you can have the idea if anybody wants to do it. But I want to see some creative people like do something from that, and that way we can get that Halloween Ends out of our heads, because the way that started off was like completely like almost like a new movie. It wasn't like what Halloween is,
Yeah. So, a lot of movies, like, they either go too far or they take. I'm going to give you an example in a second, but like, there's been movies where you're like, it should have ended here, but it went on another 20, 30 minutes, like the last Terrifier 2.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Me and Colin always talk about it. Should have ended here, right before the fun house, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But when you watch it, but it's like you could have shaved off about 20, 25 minutes of ruining that movie, in my opinion.
Was Terrifier? So it's Terrifier 1. I've seen like about, I think, a good hour of it, and it's not because I got bored or anything. I think I had something to do, and I just never went back to finish watching it. And then I just kind of forgot about it. But I know it's like a low budget movie. And I think that's kind of what was bothering me a little bit about it. But other than that, I thought it was pretty good.
I liked both of them. I just think they could have ended it a little bit sooner. But
I think they're doing a third one now.
Yeah. They are.
It's amazing what they
Why not?
did in that movie with such a low budget. That's what's crazy to me.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
they had
like,
some good special effects makeup people and it's just special effects people doing all the blood and the cutting of the bodies, and
Yeah.
it was insane. Yeah, because that's the one scene I saw on the first one. I was like, holy crap, I didn't know we were going there.
Yeah, it's like a good old slasher film from the 80s.
I remember that creepy clown thumbnail on the streaming services dude, it was on there for a long time, and I was like, I just never watched it. And someone when Terrifier 2 came out, people were like, oh, they're thrown up in the museum or in the movie theater and all this stuff. I'm like, I got to go back and watch this first one now. So I watched it. I'm like, what have I been missing out on? Like,
I'm the same way, because I know my friend Scott was the one that said, have you seen Terrifier 2? And I said, I'd never seen Terrifier 1. Then I went and watched 1 and I watched 2, and I'm like, holy shit, I've seen this clown face before, but I just never stopped. And I don't know why. But
actually, I met David Howard Thornton at one of the horror cons that was out here.
I did too. I met the whole crew.
And he's really, really cool guy. And
he is.
I think we're talking about the strike. Like we're just having a nerd talk about the actor strike. But that's when I think I asked him. I go, "There's a third one coming." He goes, "Oh yeah, it's already done. It's in the works. Like they already shot it, and they were just doing post stuff." So, and I think he's appearing again at another one that I think Creep by Econ. I think he's going to be at that one. I can't remember, but there's so many celebs. The whole original Scream cast is going to be at Creep by Econ.
I would love to go to
there was a previous Terrifier. It was called Hallows Eve, like Captain Spaulding said in the chat. It was like 2013.
Oh, really?
Somewhere around that.
That sounds familiar.
But David didn't play the clown. It was
somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he did the 2017 one and the I think it was 2021 or 22 now, whatever that was.
Oh, and hello, Captain, by the way. Another big horror fan.
Yeah, he got Art the Clown tattooed on him. I'd like to have that. I would like to have that.
Oh, and Carlos, that's what we were talking about in Saw X with the eyeballs getting sucked out. That's where we got that from.
Yeah.
So
I'll be at so going back to Creep by Econ, I'm gonna have a photo booth there with my friend Spooky Professor, who's gonna play Samara from The Ring. And we're gonna have a couple of props there that people can take pictures of her coming out of the TV or the water well. And so basically my job is just to take photos of everybody with her, and you can download the pictures on my website a week or two after the con, because I gotta still upload them. I think sometimes people get the impression that I take the picture and they want it like right now.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's not like that. It's what it's a professional picture, so we want to have
it's not a Polaroid. You can't. It's not a
Polaroid.
You can't have it.
Yeah, and that's what I try to tell people. Like, just give us some time. But that's the one we're doing. So we're doing all 3 days, February 2 to the 4th.
Is that Las Vegas? Is that where that one is?
It is in Ontario, California.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so it's right here
Captain
on the
Spaulding's going.
Oh yeah, Captain Spaulding's going to be there. So maybe he'll
stop
there
you
by
go,
and check you out. Yeah.
Look for a guy covered in
the photo booth. We're going to be in the main hallway, like right when you come in to the doors. You just go straight, and we're going to be in that. I mean, we're not going to be in the showroom area, or where the autographs are. We're going to be straight in the middle, and just keep going, and we're going to be set up right there. So it's a lot of setup time for that, because we're getting professional makeup done, we're getting the props being made. We're bringing people to help us to pass out the cards to where to get the photos from, and then we're setting up all the gear and lighting and the smoke to make it look good and not make it look like you're at a convention.
Yeah,
that's the whole goal of it. That's the whole reason I've done these photo booths. So I did one at Midsummer, Creep It Real. It's because I want to get I want people to have photos of them being at those conventions. But getting a good photo instead of your cell phone picture or a Polaroid picture, which, that's fine. It works. But I want to do like what I actually do, whereas I concentrate on lighting. I concentrate on like the aesthetics. and let's just bring in some cosplayer or a prop or something, so everybody can have like a great professional photo, and it's for free. You know what I mean? And you can just download it on my site, and then people can see what I do as a horror portrait photographer. They can go to the site and they can see I have a bunch of photos like that. And if they ever want to, they need some photos done like that, they know where to go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just fun to do. It's fun to do for people. And meeting so many people, it's a fun thing. So that's the one that's coming up in February. And we're excited to do that one. It's actually coming up next week already. So
that's actually brilliant. Wow. Because like, not only, I mean, you think about it, some of these cosplayers, the time that they put into their cos, and they hook up, they link up with you, and now they know you. So
a little bit of promotion for both sides. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So do you do a lot of conventions?
So I just started doing this is probably the fourth one I've done. The first one I did was kind of more of a test run at Creep It Real last year, so 2022. At the end of they gave me a shot to do it. So all I did was set up a backdrop and some lights and some smoke, and it was just me.
Okay.
So that's another thing. I quickly learned I need help. You know what I mean? I can't do this. I can't even go to the bathroom, or get food or walk around. So the next one, I wanted to step it up a little bit more. So I did Fear Fair. Was it Fear Fair? Yeah, Fear Fair was a few months after that, and again learn from that a little bit. That one was a little bit dead because right after the New Year, and I think everyone was just kind of don't want to do anything. And so then for Midsummer Scream, that was the big one. That's what I was saving, like more of like thinking bigger and what we can do for that one. And so Midsummer Scream from just this last year, it was like their second show coming back full storm with new vendors, new haunts, new experiences. So having me on board as well to do the photo ops, and I wanted to do a zombie apocalyptic background where like the zombies are coming out, their hands are coming out, and people can take photos there. So we had it was consistently busy. And again, I probably could have used more help and stacked up the flyers a little bit more. We ran out of flyers by day 2. And we are just telling people, just go to the website here, just write it down or take a picture of the banner or whatever.
Right.
So also learning that, try to expect more than, don't underestimate it, always overestimate it. So now getting ready for Creep by Econ, I made sure I got all my flyers. I got thousands, and I got some in the back burner that are ready to be printed for next week, just to have some extras in case we need some more. But yeah, I'm only planning on doing 2 a year for right now. So I'm doing this one and then Midsummer Scream coming up this year, and those are the only 2 I'm going to do this year.
And they're both out west. You don't come like
they're all, so Midsummer Scream's in Long Beach.
Okay.
And Creep by Econ's in Ontario in the Inland Empire area, which is like 30-40 minutes from where I live.
Okay.
Long Beach is a little bit further out, so I think Long Beach is like about an hour from me. But yeah, these are all fun. I've been wanting to do this photo booth for years. I've had this idea for a long time. I wanted to bring it to Monsterpalooza because I remember seeing a guy there taking photos there inside the convention center with all his lights set up and all his pro gear. He had the laptop where you can see it. The only thing that was missing was the aesthetic. So it was almost like you're taking just a normal ecom picture with a white background and all even lighting. And it looks cool. I didn't mind it. Like, I saw the pictures, I go, these are pretty cool. And he was getting a big line for just cosplayers. And that's what gave me the idea. I go, if we can just take that idea, but maybe decorate it to like, looks like a haunt. And then once I started going to the Midsummer Scream and seeing all the cool facades they had there, I was like, this is what it's got to be. It's got to be something like this. Like, if we can just take this facade, put some lights around it, have some great photos taken with just everything around it, and you could take it home with you. This would be perfect idea. And so that's what I started doing with when I pitched it to Midsummer Scream, they were really into it.
That's cool.
So you also like you do all photography now, right? That's how you make your living.
Oh yeah, so since June I've been working for myself when I got laid off from my last job, and I started looking for another photography job. Doing anything, I could do real estate, or some companies have an in-house photographer as well.
Mm-hmm.
And hang on real quick, I'm gonna let this cat do her thing real quick. And then I just decided, after about a month of searching, I go, you know what? I'm just gonna work with more brands and reach out to more people. So I started doing that and started creating my own work. And so now I want to be a little bit more consistent, where it's like where if I can get 5 or 6 brands to commit a month with me, I could pay my rent, I could pay my car, pay the bills, and then have a little bit left over. So it's been a challenge for sure, because not everything's consistent. Obviously, sometimes I'll have days where, like, if a week goes by and I get no bookings, that's a week I don't get paid.
Yeah.
So in December was a little tough, because I had a couple of early shoots in the month, but then going right into like New Year's, there was nothing. Nobody was booking, obviously. So everything I had to like kind of like scrape by. I scraped right through like through the New Year, and was just able to kind of scrape by. And even going into January was still kind of slow. I hadn't booked anything. So then it was time to start reaching out once people started kind of getting off vacation. Start like reaching out to brands again, and now it's fully busy right now. Like, this whole month is busy. I have shoots this Thursday all the way till next Tuesday, every single day.
Nice.
Some are double stacked. I have 2 shoots in one day on a couple of them.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'm already booking February already.
Cool.
That is cool.
Are most of the photos that you have on your Instagram, are they like the photo booth background? Is that what that is? Or
no, most of the photos on my Instagram are either locations or some of them, the backgrounds could be AI generated, where like maybe we did something in the forest and there's a tree back there.
Okay.
But I might have extended the tree out a little bit more, or maybe the floor, I didn't really like the way the floor looked. So I might do some AI stuff on that. But other than that, most of the stuff on there is locations and some studio stuff.
Yeah.
And I might post like a couple of pictures from some of the events, like the photo booth, like especially if somebody has a good like horror cosplay or makeup, like Larry Bones from FX Faces. Anytime they're doing effects makeup there at the conventions, they bring their guys over after the makeup's done, and we do photos for them. Same with any makeup art. There's another one called I forgot what the other one's called. I'm drawing a blank. I told the guy, you could just bring all your makeup people, and once they're done, bring them here for a photo. And so I go, you can cut right in line, only because I knew the person that's in that company was on Face Off. It was a show I loved watching. So I go, you guys are good with me. And so I might post some of those pictures, like because the makeup's good, or it's a zombie, or it's like an evil person or a devil or whatever it is. But most of it, I don't really post a lot of them, just because I don't want to repeat the same kind of like aesthetic that we just did.
Right.
Yeah, you have one that has a demonic nun in a parking lot, and she starts out walking slow, then she gets fast. It's really creepy. Yeah. It's creepy just being in a parking lot. I mean, the way it slows down and then goes fast towards you.
That was actually at Blackcraft. They were having a Krampus event, and so that's where I used to work, and they still hire me for freelance work. So that was one of the times they hired me, and my friend, that's Spooky Professor, actually, that was the nun. Oh,
really?
She's the one that we're doing the Creep by Econ. She's going to be Samara.
Right.
But yeah, she always shows up in some type of outfit. So whether it's Reagan, Carrie, Poe, But this one, she did the nun, and I told her, "You got to bring the nun. You got to bring the evil nun here."
Yeah.
So
It's
she
sick
goes,
looking,
I'm gonna show up." So she showed up, and then someone had some time. I go, "We're gonna do some quick video. Like, let's just have you coming in and just checking out the merch or whatever."
Mm-hmm.
So it was fun to do that one.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked like it was fun.
Yeah.
Just the way it's like going slow and then she like speeds up. It's just like
Yeah.
it's really
I
creepy.
know she kind of scared me too. Like, I don't know if she was gonna get that close.
Yeah. Knock
I was
your
like,
eye out with the
"Whoa."
camera, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I scroll through them and there's so many like I love the pictures. They're awesome. They're really
Thank
nice.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
that
then
one
we
just
did.
stuck
I think
out.
we did some pictures with her sitting on the throne too.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't take that many pictures. I
Mm-hmm.
took maybe like 10 pictures of her sitting on the throne.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I added in post was the lighting. I think the I just didn't like the warehouse look of it.
Right.
You could barely even see it. So all I did was kind of like circle that and replace it with whatever. And it looks like she's now at almost like a chapel or a goth room or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the chair was actually there, and that's her in it. But that one, I wish we'd have took a few more pictures because they were I didn't really think about it because it was like an afterthought. I go, "Hey, we should take some pictures," and we just did it really quick.
Yeah, yeah, awesome work though. So I guess you do weddings. So have you ever done like a horror wedding? I'm sure you have, right?
You know what? I didn't do a horror wedding. I did like a gothy wedding with Yvette from Backstage Bruja. Because it was all like she had a lot of blacks and like black flowers, plates, but it was all like a black and white kind of like a vibe, and that was, and she wanted to hire me just for that reason because it was she saw what I do, so she like, I need to hire the horror photographer here, and so those are the ones I enjoy doing it because we both have the same idea, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I think some people get a little bit like freaked out, be like, "Oh, I don't know if we want you to, like, you're called Rawl of the Dead," and you know, I'm proud of that. I don't like. I think in the beginning I was not ashamed is the wrong word. I was kind of more like hesitant of telling people that I go by Rawl of the Dead photography because I think people get the wrong idea.
Right.
But they don't realize that I have a wide range of stuff that I can do. I can do normal photos. The only reason they're horror is because the people are dressed in horror.
Right.
And I might make it look a little bit creepier, but for the most part, the same setup applies to the same as a family shoot, and I can totally light it the same way. I could just brighten it up a little bit more to make it look a little bit like not dark toned, but some people like the dark tone. So I think in the beginning I went by I had two identities. I had Rawl of the Dead photography, and then I had rawlphoto.com, which doesn't exist anymore, but that was where you can go to my wedding website and have you know, quinceañeras that I've done, baptisms, family photos, family friendly stuff, and people wouldn't get like so freaked out.
Right.
But what I quickly realized is like I'm paying for a website that I'm getting no bookings at. Nobody's booking me based on that website. Everyone's booking me based on my other one, which is Rawl of the Dead. And so I was like, well, I'm going to stop the other one. I still have an Instagram called Rawl Photo where I'll post like the non-horror stuff because I still do a lot of non-horror stuff. And some of the photos I still really like, and I'll post it on my Raw Photo Instagram. But now, like, I don't really care. Like, if they don't want to hire me because they see I'm a horror photographer and they don't want me to do their family photos, then I'm not the right person for you. But if you do enjoy that stuff, or if you just talk to me and say, hey, maybe we don't want it that dark, I'll work with you. I work with anybody, you know. I'm not stubborn in that sense where I'm like, it has to be my style or forget it, get out of here. I'm not like that at all. I'm like, I'm here to serve you because you're my client. And so however you want the photos, I will do it the way you want it. You know, it's not my project. If it was my project, I would do something for myself, but it's not. So
exactly. Yeah.
Right.
That's cool. Well, Raul, it's been a pleasure talking to you tonight.
Yeah, thanks, you guys.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
having me.
much for your time. Stick around with us. Backstage, we'll say goodbye to you. But
Okay.
if you want to plug, where everybody can find you and
Yes.
on YouTube and your podcast, this is your time to do that. So go
So
ahead.
everything you can find. Thank you guys, by the way, for having me on. I
Oh, thank
appreciate
you.
the conversation.
Oh, it was
Anytime.
awesome. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
Come back
Thank you, guys.
anytime.
Yeah. So you can find everything on rawlofthedeadphotography.com. My podcast link is there. My YouTube videos are there, and all my social media links to Instagram, TikTok. It's all on there. So I think it's just better just to go to the website and find all my stuff, rawlofthedeadphotography.com. And yes, in March, mid-March to late March, the Poe movie will be out. It's a short movie. And I can't wait for everyone to see it. I'm going to be dropping the trailer. I just finished the trailer this week.
Okay.
So I'll be dropping that in right after Creep by Econ in February. So I'll be dropping in the beginning of February so people can watch the trailer for that one. I just right now posted a teaser, and that's all I have right now. And then if you're at Creep by Econ, if you're in California, we will be there with Spooky Professor. Come get a photo done. It's free. So
sounds like Captain Spaulding's going
There
to
you
come
go,
check
Captain.
you out. So
yeah, there you go. Come down.
He said he's going to visit Nightmare Christie. So
yeah.
Oh yeah, I love her. She's
a good friend of the channel too. She's been on here a few times. So
I had her on the show. She's awesome.
Yeah, she is. Again, thank you so much. I love what you do. I can't wait to see Poe.
I appreciate it.
I'll keep an eye out for the trailer.
Cool.
Come back anytime. You're always welcome, man. It's,
for sure. Thank you guys. Thank you guys again.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So thanks everybody in the chat. Go check him out. He does some awesome work. And for now, that's what effing figures. And we'll see you next week.